We'll try again. I think we can just about hear you there. Hey, Graham.
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Ah, perfect.
I'm here. I can hear you, and Vision is gonna return any second now. How about that?
Boom.
I must be there, am I?
I think so. Yeah.
I didn't like the link. I didn't like the link because the last words of coming out of the last item were drinking habits, and then let's go on to Graham. It's after so many years of friendship, lads. It's unnecessary. And listen, I'm also not the type of pundit who's going to say anything like "I told you so" about Luis Enrique, because this is an odd, awkward man, and along the way there will be bumps, there will be fallouts. It was ludicrous that he dropped Jordi Alba from the squad. That looks very personal. And yet, the one thing that was just crystal clear from the moment that Julian Lopetegui was sacked until these first two games of Luis Enrique's career, Spain had to rediscover their personality. There's no Iniesta, Xavi, Puyol, Villa now. Fine. But Spain was a system. Spain's academies teach players to take risks, to have the ball for a good reason. Over the years, the three of us, your listeners, various different presenters on this show have talked about, well, is Spain's position boring or sterile or interesting or technically brilliant? How do you want to call it? Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. But what you couldn't argue was they used possession in order to win. They've stopped doing that. In the World Cup, as opposed to the rabid raving dog you used to get when you taunted me by saying on off the ball morning or night, well, there are some people that think Spain style's a bit boring. And I used to go mad and say, well, take their television licenses off them. Prevent them from watching football anymore. Well, in Russia, they were sterile. They exited that World Cup in a cloud of indifference, a cloud of risk-free boredom. And boy, oh boy, in Elche the other night, setting aside Spain winning, setting aside the World Cup finalists being destroyed, setting aside Luis Enrique, the debuts, that was football that explains what we do for a living. That was football that explains why people are passionate about this sport around the world, of any age, any race, creed, colour, gender. It doesn't matter. That was orgasmic football.
It's very strange to see, I think, any manager get his name sang in one of their first games, particularly at international level, particularly when it comes to the Spanish national football team. Have you ever seen anything like this instant gratification from the crowd towards a Spanish national manager?
Probably not, given that, Aragonés was absolutely chased around the country by his critics. Vicente del Bosque engenders affection, gentle affection. Lopetegui didn't engender anything like Luis. The answer's no. But I think the chant prior was, we want our football back. We want to be able to enjoy the game. We're embarrassed about the way things are going on the pitch. There was a huge loss of interest in terms of the viewing audience and the Spanish national team. It was becoming difficult to sell games out. First of all, not only were they pretty pleased with Luis Enrique for playing two local boys, Saúl and Gaia. Both have their roots in that part of the world. It's down the southwest of Spain, very close to Alicante. And there was a huge affection for that because it's a ceremony when Spain play. Luis Rubiales, the president, on coming to Wembley, did that interview, I think, with Sid Lowe, saying, yeah, I'm a bit envious in a healthy way of Wembley. A national stadium, yeah, wouldn't that be great? But never going to happen. One, we won't spend that money. He said, two, the Spain team belongs to everybody in our country, and therefore we have to take it round the country. When they do that, the positive is little places like Elche, who haven't had an international match for 11 years, go mental. And there's two local boys in the team. And we beat the World Cup finalists. Little wonder that there's a bit of affection towards Luis Enrique. But the sad side, when Spain became sterile, and certain footballers who are still in this team, lads, stopped working so hard, stopped trying so hard, started putting club victories ahead of international victories. I'll name him. Sergio Ramos. Terrible World Cup. And there were reasons behind the scenes for him not playing at the form we were used to at Real Madrid. And that pendulum has swung back. There's been a slap in the face from the manager. He's told the players, you just won't last a day if you don't follow my rules. There won't be second chances. And he is that stern. He is that gruff. Listen, 6-0 up and playing very well. And even though Croatia gave up for half an hour, it's a beautiful win. All his bets have come off. His debutants have scored. makes Asensio have his best game in a red shirt. Carvajal, best game in a red shirt. Sergio Ramos, back, paying attention. Luis Enrique stomped past me in the flash interview zone in the tunnel as soon as he's shaking hands with the Croatia coach at the end of the match. And his face was grim. You'd think he'd lost his favourite Alsatian dog. His pet tortoise had gone for a wander, never found him again, dropped a tenner. His face was thunder. The sports psychologist was in the flash interview, standing next to him, listening to every single word again. Luis Enrique, business continues, forget the scoreline. That probably happened at half-time when he knew he'd won. He's a very strange, demanding, intense man. He's Roy Keane without the crossing of cables in his head. That's the intensity level we're talking about. And therefore, the teams are a slap in the face. The captains are a slap in the face. And the football public are going, well, this is what we wanted all along. Welcome to Spain national team duty, Luis Enrique. That's why you heard he was popular.
This is obviously pure conjecture, but is this a 2-year deal for him? Do you think it's actually, given that level of intensity, that is what will happen? Or could this be a proper 4-year thing that goes through to the Euros and lasts all the way to the World Cup?
I think that's his aspiration. One thing that you must never mistake about Luis Enrique is that he's in it to win it. Every hour, every day, every tournament. Nothing is ever given away. Nothing is ever a gimme. Yeah, he wants to win. And maybe this helps answer your question. The players post-Croatia, not post-England, said, they didn't say these have been 2 great results, 2 great games. They said, this has been a great week. This has been fun. We believe in each other. We work for each other. It's been fabulous being here. We spoke about needing to beat these 2 teams who'd finished higher in the World Cup than us, and we didn't like it. We spoke about specifically not winning to get 3 points or get through to the finals next summer, but winning to put our house in order. Now, that's a very Luis Enrique thing. So they want to win this opening Nations League thing next summer. They want to host it and win it. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. It's early days. But after that, as long as he won't burn out in a year. You know, this is the least stressful job he's had in management because you get time off in between. He's got a gigantic team of helpers who he adores and who definitely help him. And imagine that. The sports psychologist, some people make a mistake and think he's a guy who's using sports psychology in the squad. It's for him. Every hour of every working day, he and his Joaquin Valdez are working out, what do we say? How do we act? How did that go? Let's review it. How should I act to him, to this guy? Now that's intense and that's a key, a symbol of what he believes in. But he's got gaps. So therefore, I think he'll see it through to the summer. I think he'll stay to the to the next tournament. Yeah, what is it? The 2020 European Championship. I think his objective is to win that. Do I see him being in charge for 8, 9, 10 years? Absolutely not.
Graham, great stuff. Thanks a million.
Cheers, fellas.
It's Graham Hunter enjoying his morning coffee.